Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Back on June 6th, David Price dominated the White Sox. He struck out 11 Chicago batters on that day and throwing a complete game with only 2 walks. David Price hoping to duplicate that effort here this afternoon as the Tigers get set to take on the Chicago White Sox in the final game of the series at Comerica Park. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad you're with us here for the series finale today. What a matchup we have in this one, Rod. Price will go for the Tigers and Samardzija for the White Sox.
Well, David Price in the month of June simply has been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. The overpowering fastball. He has started to use his curveball a whole lot more, and his outs, they've become easier. Samardzija, he's kind of tough to figure out. He's given up more hits than anybody in baseball right now, yet he has good stuff.
One guy that is not tough to figure out is J.D. Martinez. Recently, this guy's been going off. How about some of these numbers that J.D. has been putting up? If you look at the American League home run leaders, Martinez is right behind Albert Pujols with 19. Somewhat of a surprise.
Well, this tear for J.D. Martinez started when the Tigers were in Chicago. That's when he was struggling. He was 0 for 25 with 16 strikeouts, and Miguel Cabrera simply told him, you need a little bit more rhythm in your swing. Well, he's found that rhythm, and he's been on some kind of tear lately.
Yeah, 10 home runs in his last 16 games. We'll see if it continues here today. After a short break to the studio, we go with Johnny Kane, where the bats have been shining recently. Tigers hoping to keep it going. Tigers Sox, final game next. White Sox getting set to do battle after yesterday's rainout. We have a gorgeous day today. The field conditions are presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. It's 69 degrees at game time. 62% humidity, mostly cloudy here this afternoon. The sun is peeking through the clouds, however, and we have great weather for baseball today. Starting lineup for Chicago, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. They have Eaton, Abreu, and Garcia in their top three spots. Melky, Cabrera batting cleanup today. LaRoche, well, career against the Tigers awfully good. He's at first base. Alexei Ramirez at short. Beckham, Soto, and Bonifacio rounding out the lineup for Robin Ventura. And they are facing David Price, who today is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And David Price has hit his stride in the month of June. He checks in overall 7-2, but in his last 7 starts, it's a 1.41 ERA for the very talented left-hander.
And so he'll face a White Sox team that has come in here and split the first 2 games in the series. Adam Eaton will start things off. He has led the first 2 games off with home runs. And Price ready to go to work. Here we go. The first pitch of today's ball game is high, 1-0.
Nearly every time Adam Eaton makes contact, he's hitting the ball to left field. That's why Cespedes is playing him so shallow. But as you mentioned, first couple of games of this series, home runs to right field.
Here's the 1-0, and it's outside. 2 balls, no strikes on the Sox leadoff man. He's been on base in 15 consecutive games, trying to find some traction here as we head toward the All-Star break, batting .252. Now Price with the 2-0 pitch. That's in there. 2 balls and 1 strike. David this year looking for his 8th win of the season. The Tigers are 12-3 in his starts this year. Now the 2-1. Bouncing ball to short. Couple of steps to his right. Iglesias will throw him out, 1 away.
While we have a moment, I'll set the Tigers defensive alignment for you. It's presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. Iglesias, Kinsler, McCann up the middle. Ghost also up the middle. And you can see the Tigers are a really good team when Ghost is out in center field. He's only made 1 error in 42 games. And that quartet I just mentioned up the middle, the main reason why the Tigers check in with a .988 fielding percentage, which is the best in the American League.
Well, here is a change in the Chicago lineup. Jose Abreu is batting second in the ball game today. The White Sox looking for some punch out of the 2-hole. Melky, Cabrera just has not gotten it done in the 2 spot.
Yeah, their number 2 hitters combined this year batting just .220. With 1 home run and an on-base percentage of .255. So Robin Ventura, their manager, trying anything to jumpstart this White Sox offense.
Abreu certainly not used to hitting second in a lineup, but as he said, I'll do anything that the manager wants me to do and anything to help the team. Here are the number 2 hitters combined. 1 home run and a very low on-base percentage.
There are a lot of managers out there that like to utilize the number 2 spot for a power guy, but Robin Ventura is not doing it for those reasons. He's trying to generate some offense for his squad.
Meanwhile, Abreu has gone to 3-0. The other part of that is you might get Abreu by jumping up a couple of spots in the lineup, an extra at bat in a ball game. Here's the 3-0. That's in there. A strike called. 3-1 on Jose Abreu. 1 for 8 with a walk and a home run in this series. And it seems like every time he comes to this ballpark, he's hitting one in the bushes in center. And he did it again earlier in the series. 13 homers on the year. 3-2. That one got the catcher James McCann, who was slow to getting up.
It looked like it got McCann right off the left foot.
McCann has gathered his senses after taking a shot on the foot. Now the 3-2 coming home from Price. That is spoiled, back out of play. Well, it's not just the number 2 spot in the lineup for the White Sox. It's really their entire lineup that has underachieved this year. They're batting .240 as a team, which is 14th in the American League.
Yeah, the guy standing in the batter's box right now, by and large, really has had no help. Jose Abreu. He's done his fair share of damage, though.
.41 RBIs this year for Abreu. Popped him up. Right side of the infield for Cabrera, and there are 2 gone in the first inning.
Outstanding pitch on a 3-2 count to Abreu. It's a changeup. It's a circle change. He fades it down and away, and it's designed to disrupt the balance of the hitter. And you can see that Abreu was fooled and out in front, and therefore popped that ball up to Ian Kinsler.
Here's Avi Garcia batting in the 3 spot today. Garcia batted 6th in game 2 in the series. Couple of hits in the series for Garcia. He'll look at his strike 0-1.
That is the one pitch that has really elevated David Price in his last 7 starts, the curveball. He is throwing that pitch with a lot more confidence these days, and he's able to throw it for a strike pretty much every time he wants to.
0-2. Price in the month of June, 3-0 with a 1.21 earned run average. He is in a stretch that Rod talked about that has really kind of elevated him in his numbers. In fact, Yvonne Gallardo of Texas has a better ERA this month, and that's it. Price with the 0-2. Right back up the middle. It's going to hit the bag and roll to Iglesias. He'll hold on to it, though. That'll be an infield hit for Garcia. Two-out single for Garcia. And now Melky Cabrera. Cabrera batting .248, just 1 home run this year. Now, he's not been a really massive power guy in his career, but he's been much better than just 1 in the month of June.
That is the only home run hit this year out of their number 2 spot. We were talking about that troublesome spot for Robin Ventura. Melky Cabrera has had most of the reps batting second. Not nearly performing as he did last year when he hit 300 for the Toronto Blue Jays.
He'll foul that one back out of play. 0-1. When you look at some of the players that the White Sox acquired in the offseason, guys like Cabrera and LaRoche, and you look at the way they restructured their offense and added some pieces really up and down their rotation, bullpen lineup, many figured that Robin Ventura had a pretty good group to go to work with this year. But they are 32-41. Here's a high fly ball to center. Anthony goes under it, and that'll take care of the White Sox in the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Starting lineup for the Tigers today. Their starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Ghost, Kinsler, and Miggy at the top. You see some of the numbers. The 6th active player with 900 or more career extra base hits. Martinez, Cespedes. Then JD in right field. Castellanos, McCann, Iglesias rounding it out today for Brad Ausmus. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Jeff Samardzija.
Samardzija's got some good stuff. Fastball will get all the way up to 97 miles an hour. Average heater 94. He'll cut the fastball as well. He's got a slider, a splitter, and a changeup. Mostly changeups to left-handers, not all that often to the righties.
Anthony Ghost stepping in to start things off for the home team. Ghost batting .269. Drives one to center field. It's going to be playable, though, for Adam Eaton. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Horton. Right to left, Garcia, Eaton, Cabrera. Third to first, Beckham, Bonifacio, LaRoche. Soto's the catcher. Bonifacio, he's played everywhere this year for the White Sox. Second base, third base, left field, and center.
Here is Ian Kinsler, who's 3 for 10 in the series. A couple of home runs. Kinsler has knocked in 29. And he pulls that one to third base. Nice backhanded play by Gordon Beckham. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Tigers hitters are in a hurry here today. Let's take a look at Miggy's Friday night. It was a very impressive Friday night. First time up, double in right center field. That ball scooted all the way to the wall, even though the second baseman jumped for it. Then he went left center field, climbing the ladder on off-speed pitch, and then he went down the right field line. I was in the White Sox clubhouse yesterday chatting with some of their coaches, and they were just amazed at the talent and the skill set that Miguel Cabrera possesses.
And Samardzija starts him off inside 1-0.
But aren't we all?
Yeah, I'm wondering at this point, there's probably no reason to be surprised. He's done it for a long time and very consistently. Samardzija, the book on him, at least this year, is get him early, because he's had trouble in the first inning. In fact, has had trouble in the first few innings of ball games. But once he settles in, he's pretty good. He's got Miggy here with a count of 2-0 and 2 outs. Now it's 3 balls, no strikes. There you go. 19 runs allowed in the first inning this year. That is the most in Major League Baseball.
Well, that might be why he's pitching around Miguel Cabrera here in the first inning. He doesn't want to give up a run in the first.
And that one is in there for a strike. 3-1 on Miguel.
Samardzija has pretty good numbers against Miggy. Although the rest of the league has been hitting him around quite a bit. He has given up a Major League high 118 hits. Samardzija.
And there's ball 4, so Cabrera is given the pass here with 2 outs. First base on balls in the game for Jeff Samardzija. He's going to bring up Victor Martinez. Slowly but surely that average creeping up now. Victor up to 243. What a different dynamic he adds to the middle of the Tigers starting 9. He's had a good series, 4 for 8. They play Martinez deep at second base. Bonifacio is on the grass. And he looks at a ball outside that'll send the catcher out to the mound. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and 10-piece McNuggets. Victor is coming off the disabled list, is hitting a cool .333. Now Samardzija with the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. He was on front.
Real nice pitch there, thrown right by Victor Martinez. A little late life on the 91 mile per hour two-seamer thrown by Samardzija. You can see it coming off the fingertips. The index finger is the finger that it left last, and that caused the real nice tailing action on that pitch.
Swing and a miss again, and that's about as awkward of a swing as you will see Victor take.
Changeup.
1-2.
Split changeup, as a matter of fact. That's nasty.
Look at that thing tumble.
Oh my goodness.
Samardzija, 30 years old. He was born in Indiana. Picked up a win in his last start, his first win since late May. And Victor just got a piece of that one to stay alive. .6'5", 225 for the 30-year-old Samardzija.
He was an outstanding collegiate tight end at Notre Dame. As a matter of fact, he was an All-American in 2006. So quite the athlete is Jeff Samardzija.
1-2 is lifted in the air toward left, not deep though. On the move is Cabrera to make the play, and that'll be it for the Tigers. No runs, a walk, one man left. We go to the second. The top of the second. Glad you're with us on a much better afternoon today than we had yesterday. The game was rained out before it even got going, but plenty of sunshine this afternoon. It'll be Adam LaRoche to lead things off.
And they made the right decision to bang that game yesterday. It was nasty all day long.
It was. It'll be a doubleheader coming up in August, so the Tigers certainly won't want to play that then, but there was no way they would play yesterday. LaRoche at 236. Lefty-lefty matchup to begin things here in the second. 1 ball and no strikes.
Even though David Price has a fastball that gets up to 95 miles an hour. And Nick Castellanos playing in shallow right field.
Now Price with the 1-0, and it's inside. 2 balls, no strikes. I think I said that doubleheader's in August. It's actually in September. The Reds makeup game is in August. The other rainout the Tigers had, that was on the recent road trip. (2-0) meanwhile on LaRoche. Little chopper right back to Price. Nice leaping play. 1 gone. Price fielding his position nicely.
And David showing some athleticism. And taking a leap off the mound, able to glove that ball and then shuffle it to Cabrera for the out.
Here is Alexei Ramirez.
David's strikeout numbers have been a little bit higher recently in his last few starts. In fact, he's averaging about 8 per game over his last 4, and that started with that 11 strikeout game in Chicago to beat the White Sox in early June. There's a strike called, 0-1.
I think that kind of coincides with the usage of the Price curveball. And now the teams are simply swinging through some of those fastballs late in counts. And because he has put that curveball in a lot of the opponents' minds these days, curveball's been a great pitch for him.
Showing bunt. He looks at a ball high, did not offer.
Well, here's some proof to the point that I was making about the curveball usage of Price. First 9 starts, did not use it all that often, but in his last 6, 15%. And you can see the fastball usage obviously has gone down a little bit.
1-2 on Ramirez. Well, David has had a couple of double-digit strikeout games, not as many as he has had in the past. I mean, he's had a 1 strikeout game this year, a couple of 3 strikeout games where he's been pitching to more contact. But the strikeout numbers, as we mentioned, have gone up a little bit. It really threw it all. Doesn't matter, hold on, when you're 7-2 with a 2.42, and that's what Price came in at. One-two is skied in the air toward left center, not deep. Goes coming over, and Ramirez is out, 2 away. We're talking about those rescheduled games, Rod, and here's what's going to happen in August and September.
Well, you just hope that the rest of the way you don't get too much weather, because the last thing you want is to have a lot of double headers pile up on you late in the season.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Tigers haven't had too many, but the rain washed one away in Cincy, and of course, yesterday's game. Here's Gordon Beckham now. He's been struggling with the bat of late, even though he's played spectacular defense this year. Beckham just 4 for his last 45.
Ooh, that is scuffling a little bit.
It's a mean stretch, and really has not had success against Price. 3 for 29. Now it's 0-2. Beckham last August was dealt to the Angels and then returned this past offseason to Chicago as a free agent. Former #1 pick of the White Sox. Giovanni Soto will be next if Beckham were to reach. We're in the second, no score. Swing and a miss, and down goes Beckham. 1-2-3 inning, the first strikeout for David Price. On our way to the bottom of the second.
batters this year, and Yoenis Cespedes has played long ball twice against Samardzija. 83-mile-per-hour breaking ball that was hit to left field, fastball the opposite way. One of 2 home runs Cespedes has hit this year to right field.
Well, let's check out our Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup, and Cespedes against Samardzija now 4 for 10. A couple of long balls, 3 RBIs. So Yoenis goes to work now against Samardzija. Martinez, Castellanos to follow. Ball 1 to Yoenis, who is enjoying an 8-game hitting streak right now.
And we told you Samardzija has given up a lot of hits already this year, 118, which paces the majors, but he doesn't walk a lot of people. He's only walked 17 batters so far this year, so he's always around the plate.
He has had several starts this year in which he's given up a lot of runs. There's the 2-0. Cespedes pops it up. First base side playable. And LaRoche will, or Abreu rather. Not as LaRoche. He makes the play. 1 gone. That'll bring up JD Martinez, who's had a big month of June. JD in the month of June has really started to go off. He has 19 home runs for the year now, and he looks at ball 1 from Samardzija. He's been on base in 19 consecutive games. Here's the 1-0. That's it for a strike. 1-1 on JD Martinez. And that 3-homer game against the Yankees, and really has never just stopped hitting. I mean, he's got the average at 274. He's homered in 3 straight games. 1 and 2 brings us to our T-Mobile game changer. JD certainly has been that since June the 7th. He is up there in quite a few different categories. Slugging percentage of .869. That's the best. It'll dart outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Martinez.
And JD is simply locked in right now. The hitters go through stretches on a couple of different occasions for an everyday player, like he's going through right now, where you're barreling up everything, but usually they're not home runs. They're just base hits for most guys. Every mistake that is made while JD has been standing in that batter's box, he has hit out of the ballpark.
Well, I keep following his pace, and right now the pace he is on, 42 home runs this year.
That last 2-seam fastball, the best of the day by Samardzija at 96 miles an hour.
We're talking about Samardzija before that last out. It's amazing that with the stuff he has, he could have 3 separate games this year, one in which he gave up 7 runs, one in which he gave up 8 runs, and one in which he gave up 9 runs.
Yeah, he's got a plus fastball, tops out at 97. He's got a nice slide piece. We've already seen that splitter slash changeup with some nice tumbling effect too.
Swing and a miss. He got JD to leave the strike zone.
Another 96-mile-per-hour piece of cheese upstairs that JD Martinez could not catch up to.
First punch out for Samardzija, who has faced some aces this year, and this is what he's done against opening day starters this year.
He's held his own, but apparently the other guys have been awfully stingy in those outings as well.
Nick Castellanos. Little bouncer to second base. Routine there for Bonifacio. That'll be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Samardzija. 2 in the books here at Comerica. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. By Dodge, come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover event. And by Kraft Shreds and Chunks, make something amazing. Really nice day for baseball here in downtown Detroit. No score, top three. At Comerica, good pitching duel today between Price and Samardzija. Giovanni Soto leads it off for the White Sox. He'll be followed by Bonifacio and then Eaton. White Sox have the game's only hit. That was an infield single off the bat of Javi Garcia. Soto checked it, and the count goes to 2 balls, no strikes. Soto bats .308 against left-handed pitching this year. He's only .228 overall. And the 2-0 is in for a strike, 2-1. Soto not so sure about that last call from Jeff Kellogg, our home plate umpire today. Three and one. Soto's played in both the south side and north side of Chicago. He's been a Cub. He's now a White Sox. And in fact, had a great rookie season. Rookie of the Year 2008 with the Cubs. It's fouled straight back, 3-2. Price got him 1-2-3 in the second, going to work here in the third. Tigers trying to win this series. In the season series, the Tigers have won 6 and the White Sox have won 5. Swing and a miss. Soto retired. 2 strikeouts now for Samardzija. Game break time. Here's Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thanks. Here we have no score in the third. Emilio Bonifacio stands in. Bonifacio, another one of those players picked up in the offseason by the Chicago White Sox. Getting the start at second base today in place of Sanchez, batting $162.
Not doing a whole lot, but he's valuable. He's got some speed. He can play different positions, but offensively, really nothing going all that right these days for the Chicago White Sox.
Well, he's appeared now in just 38 games, today being his 38th. Lifted back out of play, 1-2 on Bonifacio. It's been around a while. He has a .259 lifetime average, but this is his 8th different big league team now. And Price ready with the 1-2. Bonifacio caught looking, didn't like it. And another strikeout. That's 3 in a row now for David Price.
And we talked about David Price and the fact that he has been using that curveball quite a bit, but he also likes to throw that fastball inside. That's about right at the knees on the black at 96 miles an hour. And nothing that Bonifacio could do with that last pitch. And David is now punched down 3 in a row.
Had him eating the batter. He bounced out to start the ball game. Strike 1 on Eaton. The 5 home runs he has now this year is a career high. He's hit 2 of them in this series. That's in there right at the belt. 0-2. Over his career, Eaton has not really been all that good against left-handed pitching, just 181. And Price has him down on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Lifted toward left, slicing away from Cespedes. He'll get back there though. It's a 1-2-3 inning. So Price back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. Today's game is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and at ships at sea. We welcome you all. Hey, Sunday, July 5th, the Tigers play the Toronto Blue Jays in that explosive offense they have. It'll be a 1:08 start. It's on-field photo day. Prior to the game, fans will be allowed to take photos of their favorite Tigers players. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. Always one of the more fun days at the ballpark every year. July the 5th against the Blue Jays. Bring the camera. Samardzija goes back to work. James McCann, Jose Iglesias, Anthony Gose in the Tiger third. McCann at 248. 0 for 2 in the series. Check swing roller foul. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty nice pitcher's duel. Both Samardzija and David Price on top of their games. And Samardzija hasn't given up a hit yet. Price has only given up 1 single. Pulled foul. Watch your lips.
Whoa, man, the third base umpire, Mark Rippinger, had to dance out of the way of that one. Earlier in the series, Alan Porter was umping third. He had to dance out of the way of one as well.
It's tough to call that ball fair or foul when you're trying to prevent yourself from being hit at the same time.
Exactly. I mean, how do you know? If it's close, you just guess.
Yeah. You can go to the replay if you want to.
You're in survival mode. You guys are on your own. Here's Alan Porter, who had to do the same a couple of nights ago. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He got little in a hurry.
2-2 on McCann. Part of the package that the White Sox gave up to get Samardzija. Josh Phegley, catcher, Marcus Semien, who has pretty much taken over at short for the Athletics, although he struggled defensively. Last year, Samardzija got no run support at all, lost 13 games, had an ERA sub-3. Little bouncer back up the middle, and Ramirez will throw him out. McCann is gone. It's 5 in a row retired by Samardzija. Here's Iglesias. He is starting to pick it up again. Jose back up to 329 now with 4 hits in the series.
And no shortstop in baseball has a better batting average than Jose Abreu. Excuse me, Iglesias.
It's been awfully consistent
On both sides of the ball. And defensively, we know he is stellar. He makes all those plays, but he is giving the Tigers a lot more offense than I think most people would agree to, that they thought he would give them when the season began.
Yeah, because when the Tigers got him from the Red Sox, Iglesias was a 300 hitter with Boston, but it was a very small sample. I think they knew what they were getting defensively, but these offensive numbers this year have been pretty striking.
Been very consistent, driving the ball to all fields. Doesn't strike out very often either. Although Samardzija is ahead of him 1 ball 2 strikes as we speak. He's only punching out once every 11 at bats this season. Iglesias only. Michael Brantley of the Cleveland Indians is better.
Here's the 1-2. They wouldn't chase. 2 balls 2 strikes on Iglesias.
You can see when you are hitting 329, you're using the entire field. 21 to left, 26 up the middle, and 22 hits the opposite way for Iglesias so far this season.
Back up the middle. That's into center field. It's a single for Iglesias.
His approach with 2 strikes is just outstanding. He took a breaking ball on the 1-2 pitch, which was a good pitch, but he didn't even flinch at the breaking ball. Finally gets himself something that he can handle. Really good balance, real firm front side that he's hitting up against, and he finds the seam right back through the box.
Tigers had their first hit of the game to go with a walk. They had a base on balls from Cabrera in the first. Anthony Ghost lined out to center field on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. Runner goes, and a bouncing ball to first. LaRoche tags the bag there for the out. Iglesias goes to second.
And Iglesias had an outstanding jump. He's already stolen 9 bases this year, but the left-handed batter goes. He had no idea that Iglesias was running, therefore he swung at the first pitch. Had he not swung, Iglesias steals second base. A little easier for a right-handed batter because he can see the runner on first base. He can decide whether he wants to swing or not. He can decide whether the base runner got a good enough jump or not to warrant him taking a pitch.
Well, Iglesias gets into scoring position for Ian Kinsler. He'll look at a strike 0-1. Kinsler grounded to the third baseman Beckham in his first at bat. Tigers in search of the 2-out hit here to produce a run. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Kinsler had a couple of hits in the Friday night game, game 2 in the series.
Yeah, that was after a very lengthy pregame session with the manager, Brad Ausmus, working on the swing of Ian Kinsler.
Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Samardzija comes right back and records his second strikeout of the game. Condolences to our colleague John Keating, who lost his father Walter recently, and Walter passed away. And of course, John is in our thoughts. His entire family is in our thoughts, and always tough to go through a situation where you lose a parent. So, John, we're thinking about you, and we certainly pass along our condolences to you and your family.
And no doubt, lots of thoughts and prayers for the Keating family. Walter lived a real nice life. 90 years young was Mr. Keating.
Wow. Very nice. Well, Mr. Abreu will lead things off here, followed by Garcia and Cabrera in a scoreless game. We're in the top of the fourth inning. David Price goes back to work. The 1-0 pitch is sliding in for a strike.
Yeah, another really good curveball thrown by David Price. That one at 77 miles an hour. Now he's feeling so confident with the curveball. He's starting to throw it at different speeds, anywhere from 77 to 82 miles an hour.
Here's the 1-1. He'll get back out of play. 1-2.
Tigers have handled him pretty well in this particular series. He has the 1 home run, but by and large, he's been doing a lot of swinging and missing in the prior 3 games. 2 games, I should say.
1 for 9 in the series. However, in his career, pretty good. Numbers over 300 versus Detroit. One ball, 2 strikes. Grounded fair inside the bag at third base. That'll be extra bases. Abreu is on his way to second. He will take the turn. He thought about going to third, and now falling down and left is Cespedes, and Abreu will get to third base.
Wow, what happened, Yoenis?
He just flat out fell on the warning track. You're going to call it a double. And the knee 7.
It's a 90-mile-per-hour cutter that's turned on by Abreu, and apparently Abreu must have tweaked a left hamstring. He's not running very well. He was able to get to third base only because Cespedes fell down when he went over to retrieve the baseball, so he'll be given an air, but Abreu not running all that well.
So Abreu gets to third. Second hit of the ball game for the White Sox. Garcia trying to drive him in. Looks at strike 1. A single that hit the bag at second in his first at bat. It was an infield hit. Here's the 0-1. Make it 0-2 now on Avi Garcia. The White Sox over their last 22 games are hitting under 200 with men in scoring position. 193. Driven toward left field on a line. Cespedes goes over to make the play. Abreu will tag up and trot home. It'll be a sac fly and an RBI for Garcia. So the White Sox score first here today. We'll bring up Melky Cabrera. th RBI for Garcia. Cabrera fly to center field his only time. Drops down a bunt. Third base side, they'll let it roll foul.
And not a bad idea by Cabrera, who has by and large been struggling in his first year on the south side of Chicago, batting average at just .247. But it's the bad angle that was created by Melky Cabrera, which pushed that ball foul down the third baseline.
Price now has hit the 50 plateau. 34 strikes. Cabrera behind in the count. Melky has played in all but one game this year for Chicago. Cabrera's on pace for only 55 RBIs this year, coming off a season in which he knocked in 73 with the Blue Jays.
He had 171 hits last year, and he missed the last month of the season.
It has just been a struggle for him this year, though. Just off the plate. Price thought he had strike 3.
Well, if you throw a 2-2, you can come back and throw it 3-2 if you choose to do so. It's a curveball at 80 miles an hour just off the outside corner.
Here's the 3-2. Fouled straight back. Handel Maroche waiting on deck. Another good crowd here this afternoon watching the Tigers wrap up this series against Chicago. Homestand will continue on Tuesday. It's an off day tomorrow with the Pirates coming to town. We learned today that Justin Verlander will make his start on Tuesday night.
That's good news. He'll have a very difficult competitor on the other side. Garrett Cole gets the ball for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pretty good. That is rolled foul. Garrett Cole's 11-3.
He's lights out, man. He's got legit stuff. I didn't go to Pittsburgh when he pitched against the Tigers earlier this year, but his stuff is as impressive as any right-hander we've seen this year.
And I would imagine he'd be the front runner to start the All-Star game for the National League. ERA's a little bit over 2. Here's the 3-2 again. Driven deep to left field, way back, and this one is way gone. Cespedes only turned on that ball, and Melky Cabrera hit it a mile. 2-0 White Sox.
On the 3-2 pitch, there's no doubt that Melky Cabrera is looking for a mid-90s fastball because you have to against a guy like David Price, but he got something at 87 miles an hour, and it was at the bottom of the strike zone, and he absolutely killed it.
Only his second homer of the year. He left little doubt. Here's LaRoche.
Hasn't he hit both of his home runs against us this year?
He has. Only 2 all season long, and they both have come against Tigers pitching. So the lineup changes for Robin Ventura so far have worked today. Abreu a double in the 2 spot, Cabrera a homer in the 4 spot. There's a strike called, 1-1 on LaRoche. The White Sox trying to jumble up their offense a little bit, shake some life into it. And they've got a 2-0 lead on a pretty good pitcher in David Price.
Let's take one more look at the changeup that was at the bottom of the strike zone that Cabrera caught just right. And he caught it out front, got some backspin, and that ball and carried very deep into the left field seats.
3 balls, 1 strike. LaRoche a couple of doubles in this series. They play him to pull. Swing and a miss. 3-2. LaRoche a couple of years ago in 2012 had his best year. 30 home runs, knocked in 100, won a Silver Slugger, a Gold Glove. And he fouled that one off to stay alive.
That home run hit by Melky Cabrera, only the second home run that Price has given up in his last 8 starts.
Well, it wasn't cheap. I mean, anytime you clear the bullpen and then go halfway up the seats, pretty good.
We've been here a long time. You don't see many balls go where that one went, to left field.
Again, the 3-2. He went around. Strike 3 call. Price gets a strikeout. That'll be his 4th of the ball game. 2 away, and that'll bring up Alexei Ramirez. Flight out to center, back in the 2nd. Alexei, another one of the White Sox having a subpar season compared to what he did last year. Ball 1.
Alexei made an all-star team last year. Stole a lot of bases.
Well, in their history, they've only been 3 guys for the White Sox that have hit 100 home runs and stolen 100 bases. Alexei is one of them. He'll pull this one on the ground to the shortstop. Nice play. Iglesias, quick flip for the out. Makes it look so easy. White Sox get a pair of runs, though. Home run by Cabrera capped it off. It's 2-0 Sox.
Jose Abreu and Miguel Cabrera kind of cut from the same cloth. Both guys start with their feet about shoulder width apart. Both guys have tremendous balance throughout their swing. Hand-eye coordination pretty similar. The only difference, and one of the major differences, Miguel Cabrera has been doing it for 11 years in the big leagues, and Jose Abreu's only been stateside 1 time, but a lot of similarities in the 2 swings.
Well, Cabrera will start things off here in the 4th with the Tigers down by 2 now. And Samardzija has given up just 1 hit. Miggy, then Martinez, then Cespedes. Right through the middle of the lineup goes Samardzija, and he throws a strike, 0-1. Didn't deal with Miguel back in the 1st inning, walked him. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball, 3rd base, leaping play there by Beckham. Miggy's out, 1 out.
It really doesn't matter where you put Gordon Beckham, whether he's playing 2nd, short, or 3rd base. He's got a really good glove and a very accurate throwing arm.
Here's Victor. Martinez flied out to left field his first time up. Samardzija played football and baseball at Notre Dame. All-American receiver. And here are the splits that we talked about. Got to get them early, because when the 5th inning rolls around, the ERA goes way down. That's way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, I had him as a tight end earlier when I was talking about his collegiate football career at Notre Dame, but he was a wide receiver. He was fast. Big guy, too.
He probably could have played tight end if he wanted to.
He probably could still play some wide receiver in the NFL if he chose to do so. He was that good.
He was projected, as a matter of fact, to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Had the Cubs not signed him. Two and one on Victor Martinez, who came in batting .462 against the White Sox this year. 2-2 the count on Victor. Now Samardzija ready with the 2-2. One of the telltale signs, Rod, I think that we saw the other night in Friday night's game that Victor is back to being healthy was he scored on a triple by Cespedes from first base in the 5th inning of that ball game, and he had to run the bases pretty hard and scored quite easily and looked like he came out of it pretty good.
He was running well. I was in the studio, obviously, for that game, and he got around second pretty good. He got around third pretty good. Piano jumped on his back just momentarily when he rounded third, but he was able to gather himself and score without a play.
Well, you can make the argument that Piano's always on his back because he's not the speediest of guys,
but it was a great sign.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Martinez.
I don't think he'll be getting pitch ran for any time soon this year.
No. Well, they tried it.
Yep.
And paid for it. That is hit a mile high in the air. Straight up. Alexei Ramirez to the grass. 2 gone. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to, Miller Time later in today's game is brought to you by Miller Lite. So with 2 outs here is Cespedes. And the look that Samardzija has today is one that he's going to be on his game.
He's kind of puzzling for me. This is the 4th time we've seen him this year. And we talk about the skill set, the fastball in the upper 90s. He's got real nice secondary pitches. He's got all the other intangibles, the mound presence, intestinal fortitude, you name it, he's got it. But for whatever reason, man, the numbers just aren't that great for Samardzija. 118 hits coming into play today, which is more than any other pitcher in baseball.
He's retired 9 of the last 10 that he's faced. Cespedes looks at one inside, 2-0.
A lot of whispers surrounding Samardzija. If the White Sox do not get back in the race, they might just flip him to a contender and try to get themselves some prospects as they retool and get ready for next year.
Hit to right field, but it's going to be playable. Javi Garcia is there, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Samardzija. We're on our way to the 5th. noticed over the course of the year and a half that Price has been with the Tigers, what's missing from his cap?
No button.
The button. There's no button on his cap. Well, how can that be? Well, David Price told us why there's no button on his cap.
Button on top of the cap is called the ouch button. You know, I think everybody kind of knows that, and you know, I've done it for I don't know how long. I mean, I did it in college. I've done it for a long time. I mean, 'cause people used to always walk by, you know, and just go like that, and that doesn't feel good.
It's the ouch button.
Well, I'm glad he clarified that, because I've been getting a lot of tweets on exactly why there is no button on Price's hat.
I got to be honest with you. I think it's more noticeable probably in the road cap because the button's orange, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and so I never really noticed it, but some of our viewers have, and you know, they've got the eagle eye and they noticed that there was no button. There you go. That's why it's the ouch button. It hurts when somebody comes and taps you on the cap.
It's not that he's all that short. He's 6 feet 5 inches, so you got to be pretty tall to get up on top and slap him upside his head.
Yeah, that's the question. Who's actually tapping him on his head? Beckham leading it off for the White Sox. We're in the 5th inning, 2-0 Chicago. High fly ball left field. Cespedes going back. He'll go to the warning track to make the catch.
There's Buck Farmer. You can see the orange button on his cap on the road unis, and of course, not for David. I mean, button or not, he can flat out pitch.
It doesn't matter. Here's Giovanni Soto. Well, they touched him up for a double, an error, and a sac fly to score 1 in the 4th, and then later Melky Cabrera homer to make it 2-0. That's hit back up the middle on the ground. Kinsler. Soto is out 2 away. Here's Emilio Bonifacio. Strikeout victim back in the 3rd for Bonifacio. He'll shoot that one foul back out of play. David today has struck out 4. 3 of them came in a row. Here's the 0-1. Make it 0-2 on Bonifacio. Played with the Marlins, the Blue Jays, the Royals, the Diamondbacks, the Braves, and the Nationals. And now you can add the White Sox to his resume.
He got a lot of suitcases in his closet.
The 0-2. Just off the plate, 1-2 on Bonifacio.
And with 9 different stickers on him.
Pretty close.
Yep, it's a 90-mile-per-hour cut fastball that Price started off the plate intentionally, but it didn't come back. And quite enough for him to get the call from the home plate umpire, Jeff Kellogg.
Bonifacio cuts and misses. 5 strikeouts for Price, who has an easy 1-2-3 5th inning. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. lowest tire price period. Bell Tire by Myers. Save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Sunny day, beautiful day here in downtown Detroit. We welcome you back to Comerica Park. 2-0 is our score. The White Sox have the lead over the Tigers. Mario and Pemba with Rod Allen. Glad you're joining us today. Joe Nickel is our producer and Brian Moss our director. There's a strike called on J.D. Martinez, who struck out back in the second. One of just 2 strikeouts for Samardzija. Here's the 0-1. J.D. checked it. Strike is called by Jeff Kellogg.
0-2. And so far, Samardzija doing a very nice job of keeping J.D. Martinez off balance. And fastballs up and out of the strike zone. Soft breaking balls away to J.D.
And Samardzija strikes him out again. 1 away.
He's on point today. And a nice mixture of 96-mile-per-hour fastballs along with this split finger / changeup that he's thrown quite a bit of today, with some nice action on them, getting some swings and misses.
Here is Nick Castellanos. Ball 1 to Castellanos. That'll sail up and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Talking about Samardzija being a 2-sport star that could have played in the NFL or Major League Baseball. The Fighting Irish also have a current 2-sport star, and Pat Connaughton, who was not only drafted by the Orioles in the 4th round, but also drafted in the NBA draft. And he'll be making a decision on which way he wants to go. That's driven in the air to right field and pretty good. Garcia going back. Up against the wall. Avi pulls it in.
A lot of wind blowing toward right field this afternoon, but that one did not carry out. A nice recovery, nice play by Garcia.
Looked like it might have a chance, but just at the end fell in his glove. 2 gone. Now James McCann will step in. Bouncing ball left side on the backhand there. Ramirez. And Samardzija has a quick and easy 1-2-3 fifth.
Delivery of the game. We've well documented the fact that David Price is getting more comfortable with the curveball. He used it quite a bit in his last outing on Tuesday. He's already at it again here today with some really nice curveballs, velocity going anywhere from 77 all the way up to 83 miles an hour with, you know, the bender that Price is featuring today.
So David Price goes back to work. And the left-hander for the Tigers facing the top of the Chicago lineup. Eaton, Abreu, and Garcia facing the lefty. 2 runs on 3 hits for Chicago. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error for the Tigers. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball, fair ball, off the bag, or off the glove rather, of Miguel at the bag at first. Eaton's on his way to second, taking the turn. He's going to go to third, and he is in there safely. Eaton thinking triple all the way, apparently.
Eaton, for the most part, hits everything the opposite way, but he's been in a pulling mood against the Tigers in this series. Miguel leaves his feet, but he can't slow it down, and Eaton with good speed. And he's got a lot of extra base hits already this year against Tigers pitching.
So now the White Sox have a runner at third with nobody out, already leading 2-0.
6th triple of the season for Adam Eaton, also his 6th extra base hit against Tigers pitching this year.
So here is Abreu to try and drive him in. Tigers are bringing the infield in a few steps at least.
If it was just 1 out, the Tigers more than likely would walk Abreu to set up the inning-ending double play, but really makes no sense to do so with nobody out. You pretty much have to concede that Eaton on third base, he's going to score anyway.
Abreu had a double in his last at bat, scored a run. That is the 4th hit of the game for Chicago. Swing and a miss.
You might want to go upstairs with another fastball and see if you can get Abreu to swing through another one of those 94-mile-per-hour fastballs. You do not want to make a mistake here. No balls and 2 strikes.
Flared out of play. 41 RBIs for Abreu, who earlier this year had a 17-game hitting streak. That was in the month of May. Last year he had a 21-game hitting streak in his rookie campaign. Another one back out of play. 0-2, the count stays. Price came in with an ERA of 1.21 in June, allowing a 2-run 4th, and now a runner at third here in the 6th inning with nobody out. Down the right field line, but foul.
And Robert Ventura, the manager of the White Sox, has bumped Abreu up to the number 2 slot here today because his number 2 hitters this year, they really haven't been all that productive. And combined number 2 spot in his lineup, a .220 batting average, but so far so good. Now he has Abreu up there with a chance to drive in a run.
Well, you have your guys that drive in runs typically in 3 and 4, but if nobody's getting on base ahead of them. Trying something different here. Put Abreu in a spot here to drive one in. Oh, and he hit him So Abreu is plunked, and that'll put runners at first and third.
It's the last thing that Price wanted to do on the 0-2 pitch, hit Abreu with a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. There's really nowhere for Abreu to go. And you know that hurt, and he didn't even rub it.
He let out a yell, but that was about it.
Didn't rub it at all.
I love when the hitters do that. They don't want to show the pitcher any satisfaction at all.
But you know it hurt.
Oh. It's going to hurt for a while. Well, here is Garcia now. First and third, nobody out. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Garcia lofted a sac fly in the fourth inning to drive in Abreu. He's got a base hit and an RBI today. And despite what he's done in this series, only 163 over his last 23 games, but he's starting to heat up again after a big April and a big May. Swing and a miss. Now it's 0-2. Infield back up the middle now against Garcia. Tigers today been out hit 4-1. Samardzija allowing just one hit. A single by Iglesias in the third. That's it. Fouled it off. Just got a piece. Leadoff triple by Eaton here in the sixth. Abreu hit on an 0-2 pitch. And again the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Garcia. White Sox have had trouble beating teams within their division of late. In fact, since 2009, they have not had, or they've had only one winning season against the Central in that span. This year, 15-24 against teams within their division. The 1-2, way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Javi Garcia. Price had a snappy 10-pitch 5th inning, but the leadoff triple has slowed things considerably here in the 6th. Eaton at third, Abreu at first. Drilled foul, third base side. Now Price's pitch count has jumped to 87. There's the 2-2. Soft line drive, base hit to right. That'll drive in a run. So Garcia, who is down in the count 0-2, comes back to single to right field, and that'll score Eaton. (3-0) Chicago. Still nobody out.
It's pretty good at bat, and turned in by the youngster Garcia. It's a fastball that splits the plate. He kind of fights it off over the head of Kinsler to drive in the third run of the afternoon. It's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch back in the 4th inning. And Melky Cabrera, who's not having a very good year. Price thought he had him struck out on this last breaking ball right here, and he did not get the call from Jeff Kellogg. And Cabrera went on to put on a pretty good at bat. Finally got a breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone to hit his second home run of the season.
So Garcia now has 12 RBIs this year alone against the Tigers, which is more than any other White Sox player. 2 more RBIs today. Still nobody out, and here is Cabrera. That'll get back out of play 0-1 on Milwaukee, who hit a long homer in his last at bat, flat out in his first at bat. Abreu at second, Garcia at first. Low ball 1.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. And Price has topped out at 97 here this afternoon.
Cabrera was having a great year back in 2012 with San Francisco when he was suspended for PED use and never played in the postseason. He was hitting .346 that year. That is lined into center field and a base hit. Now they're going to hold the runner at third base. Abreu, I think they wanted to try and score him, but he slowed down around third, and so Joe McEwing had to throw up the stop sign.
He's got a tender left hamstring, which he displayed the last time he was up when he doubled down on the left field corner. And he's just not running very well right now.
Didn't seem like he was sure whether or not the ball got through, and by that time it was too late. So they're loaded up now, still nobody out, already 3-0 in favor of the Sox. LaRoche is 0 for 2. Infield in for the Tigers. Ball 1 to LaRoche. Abreu is at third base, Garcia at second base, Cabrera at first. 6 hits now for Chicago. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on LaRoche. Only 2 for 11 of the series. His 2, though, are doubles. The Tigers have action. It's Alex Wilson warming up in their bullpen. For a guy that didn't start the season in the Tigers bullpen, started the year in the minor leagues, he's become a major piece.
He has pitched quite a few innings out of that bullpen already this year for Detroit. Two and 1 now on LaRoche.
Price came into this inning with 75 total pitches in the pitch count. Now he's up to 94. And there's still nobody out here in the 6th.
White Sox have put together some really good at-bats this afternoon against Price. In his last 7 starts, he had not given up more than 2 earned runs in any of the 7 starts. He's already given up 3 here this afternoon.
Lifted back out of play.
Also going up against the Chicago White Sox for the 3rd time this year.
Two and 2 on LaRoche.
High fly ball left field. Cespedes backs up. Abreu tags up. Catch is made. Throw will come into third base. As Abreu scores, sacrifice fly, RBI for LaRoche. 4-0 ball game and time for a game break now. Here is Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thanks. That was the first out of the inning as you look at the standings in the Central. KC picked up a half game on the Idle Tigers yesterday by winning their ball game.
Minnesota just continues to roll. They are playing above most of the expectations that were placed upon that team at the beginning of the year. And Torrey Hunter with 2 home runs yesterday.
Here's Ramirez. He'll foul it back out of play 0-1. Well, Jack was here. Jack Morris was here for a couple of days, and I asked him, what he thought about the Twins, and he's got his finger on the pulse of the Twins, and he thinks their rotation is good enough. I mean, their offense has come alive a little bit. Molitor's done a great job, so apparently the Twins have no plans of departing the pennant race.
And they're going to find themselves trying to add this year at the trade deadline instead of trading away pieces.
It's a ground ball to short. Iglesias fires to second. There's one. Relay to first. Not in time. Ramirez beats it out. Fielder's choice, leaving runners at first and third. Brad thought about it for a moment, then waved it off. They are not going to take a look at this. No challenge. So here is Beckham with 2 outs, runners at the corners. 2 more runs in here for the White Sox. Beckham fly deep to left, his last at bat, chasing Cespedes to the warning track. Little chopper towards second. Should get him out of the inning. Kinsler will throw him out, and the side retired. So the White Sox will add 2 and strand 2, and we go to the bottom of the 6th now. 4-0 Chicago. Top 4 hitters are a combined 6 for 10. They've scored a bunch of runs, and Samardzija, 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. He's thrown just 57 pitches.
And so Samardzija will go back to the hill now. He has also had 5 one-pitch outs in this game, which has kept his pitch count in great shape. Iglesias is the only guy that has a hit for the Tigers today. Single back in the 3rd. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball, shallow right field for Garcia. Iglesias is out, 1 away. Hey, Tuesday, the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup semifinals begin as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on Germany with a trip to the final on the line. Coverage begins Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on your local Fox station and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So the women are on the brink. One more win and they go to the finals. Here's Anthony Gose. Showing bunt, looks at ball 1.
We've already seen Samardzija 3 other times this year, and he's pitching differently than he's pitching today. Not as many fastballs in the mid-90s, mixing in quite a few breaking balls, quite a few split-fingered fastballs. And because of that, he's doing a nice job today.
I would say so. In fact, the only 2 Tigers base runners in this game, the single by Iglesias and a walk to Miggy. It's been about it. Strike on the outer edge. 2-1 on Gose. Anthony taking a few pitches here in this at bat. He had seen just 2 pitches in his first 2 at bats combined. That'll be high, and the count goes 3-1. Gose waiting on the 3-1 pitch. And it's a ball outside. He walked him.
We told you on Friday Ian Kinsler was out with Brad Ausmus taking some early batting practice, concentrating on his top hand and keeping his shoulders a little bit more parallel to the ground. And it worked very well for him on Friday. Base hit his first time up in the first inning, right back up the middle. Layers singled in the contest as well, this time to right field, but the emphasis was placed on trying to leave the top hand on the bat as long as possible, which allows you to hit down on the baseball. And let's hope that Ian can somehow continue this through the regular season.
Kinsler is 0 for 2 in today's game, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. 4 runs on 6 hits for Chicago. No runs, 1 hit for the Tigers today. Kinsler's average now .259. Fouled away, 0-2. How often have you seen a manager go out and work with a player before a game?
It happens on occasion, but usually not as visible as Brad was on Friday. Managers typically will talk in the cage, they'll talk in their office, but not a lot of times on the field without the hitting coach there. But Brad has played 18 years in the big leagues. He struggled in the big leagues as well, and he may have noticed something that Ian was doing or had not been doing, and they simply had a nice conversation about it. But it doesn't happen very often.
Here's the 1-2. Line to right field. Garcia won't get it. Going to drop in, base hit. Goes on his way to third base, and Kinsler has a single to right. And the Tigers now perking up here in the 6th.
Well, we just demonstrated for you what Ian had been working on the last couple of days, and he does it here on a 2-strike pitch. The ball's away, keeps the shoulders parallel, and basically pokes the bat at it and drives the ball the other way for a solid single, and bringing Miguel Cabrera to the plate with a chance to drive in some runs.
So Miggy with a walk and a ground out. Way up high, 1-0. Only the second hit of the game for the Tigers.
And biggest at bat of the afternoon now for Samardzija, going up against Miguel Cabrera, who is hitting at .365 this year with runners in scoring position.
Drilled. Shallow right field. It's not going to be deep enough, is it? Nope. Ghosts will back up. Kinsler thought about going to second. That's a big out there for Samardzija.
Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. Usually Miguel Cabrera's driving in that run, but once Garcia comes in for it, if you're on third base, and even if you have speed like Ghost, you don't want to challenge the arm of Garcia. And Mickey hit that ball right off the end of the bat.
So now it'll be Victor Martinez with runners at first and third. Victor is 0 for 2 in the game. Fly out, pop up. Way outside, 1-0. This all started with a walk to Anthony Ghost and a single by Kinsler the other way. The count on Martinez. Victor came in hitting .465 this season, make it .462. Still pretty good against White Sox pitching.
He loves to cheat on 2-0 fastballs, especially guys that have good arms that he thinks he might get one from. And if he does get that fastball from Samardzija, he'll be trying to hit it down in that right field corner.
Popped him up. Who wants it? The left fielder does, and that is Melky Cabrera, and the threat is over. So Samardzija pitching through some trouble. Still 4-0. Here in downtown Detroit, Tigers with a real good scoring chance going by the wayside. Here are some news and notes from around the major leagues. How about Giancarlo Stanton? He's out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken bone in his left hand.
He already had 27 home runs.
How about that? You know, I mentioned earlier that Garrett Cole would probably start the All-Star game. I kind of forgot about Max Scherzer.
Yeah, Max might have something to say about that.
I would say so. And then the Cardinals, man, Rod, for somehow, some way, they just continue to get it done.
Yeah, they play through injuries. They play through losing their best starters for the year. Last team to compile 50 wins in their first 74 games, the White Sox. White Sox won a World Series that year.
Well, apparently we have an issue going on here at the ballpark because we do not have a pitcher that has taken the mound, whether it's David Price or somebody out of the bullpen. And it looks like Wilson now is going to come in out of the Tigers bullpen. Price never made it out to the mound.
This is between innings. Verlander goes over and talks to Brad Ausmus and Jeff Jones. Apparently Price must have thought his day was over.
And now the Tigers have made the decision to bring Wilson in the game. So David Price is done for the afternoon. But we spent the entire half inning break without anybody warming up. So Wilson now will come in and get his warm-up pitches, and we'll see if we get word on David Price here.
And Wilson pitching in his 26th game. He's pitched 37 in the third innings so far this year. The earned run average is outstanding. He has done marvelous work out of the Tigers bullpen in a variety of different roles.
Hey, see the Tigers play the Pirates June 30th through July the 2nd. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks for only $19 per person. What a deal. It's the weekday value pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. The weekday value pack. Great way to watch Tigers baseball. Well, the Pirates we mentioned coming to town as interleague play returns for the Tigers. And the Pirates doing some good work over in the National League.
They have been one of the best teams in baseball since the calendar turned to June. They're not going to catch the Cardinals, I don't think, but they're having a good year.
Well, the probables Cole, Burnett, and Liriano for the Pirates in that series versus Detroit. So Alex Wilson is out there, and he will pitch in the 7th now as Giovanni Soto leads it off. Tigers down by 4 to the White Sox. Soto in the ballgame is 0 for 2 strikeouts and a bounce out. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Giovanni. Bonifacio to follow, then Adam Eaton. Top 7, final game of this rain shortened series. It was to be a 4-gamer. It'll be a 3-gamer. Line to center field, base hit. Soto is aboard. They lead off single in the 7th. Now Bonifacio. A couple of strikeouts in the 9 slot for Bonifacio. Castellanos has been creeping in on the grass at third base defensively. In the event Bonifacio is thinking of laying one down, he is, and he lets it go by, ball 1. That, by the way, was the 7th hit of the day for the White Sox, only 2 for the Tigers. Here's the 1-0. He jabbed at that one.
Bonifacio is a pretty good bunter. A lot of times when you are being asked to sacrifice, a lot of times guys that bunt for base hits a lot, they're not as comfortable in the sacrifice role as they are in bunting and for a base hit. A lot of times managers will give you the luxury of treating it like you're bunting for a base hit, and they ask you to get it down.
Wilson ready with the 1-1. And Bonifacio hits the deck. He was again showing bunt.
Is it a strike?
Where did it hit?
Must have bunted through it and it hit him. Actually, it looked like he fouled it off. Ball changed directions right off the bottom of the bat of Bonifacio.
So it's 1-2. Soft roller back toward the mound. Wilson spinning towards second. That's all they'll get. Fielder's choice. One out. It's a little bit tougher play than it appeared because Wilson had to spin and throw across a lot of real estate.
He knew exactly who was running. He did not hesitate. Soto, the catcher, with not a lot of speed, got him by about 5 steps.
Here's Adam Eaton now. Big triple to get things started in the 2-run 6th inning. He eventually scored on the RBI hit by Garcia. 4th hit in the series for Eaton, who also has 2 home runs. That's in there, a strike called. Well, how about the Tigers bullpen? It started out rocky in April. Smooth sailing in May, but the month of June, well, they're on the downslide again.
Well, hopefully with the addition of Bruce Rondon and the way that he's thrown the ball in a couple of outings we've seen him, once they roll into the tail end of June and into July, and that bullpen can start to sort itself out.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Rondon in his first 2 appearances has looked like the Rondon that they were hoping to have last year before the surgery.
Fastball's gotten all the way up to 101, but he's thrown some good breaking balls, good sliders, good changeups.
That went a little bit closer down there as Bonifacio just got back. There was a time when Bonifacio was a big-time base stealer, once stole 40 in a season. But those numbers have declined as he has gotten older. Runner goes. Here comes the throw down to second. Bounce again. Tag. Got him.
Not many better than James McCann in the American League, with his exchange to the throwing hand and the very quick release and the accuracy that he throws the ball down towards second base. Bonifacio had a pretty good jump from first base, but the lethal arm speed and the very good arm of McCann able to throw him out. Nice pick by Iglesias as well. Man, is he quick back there.
He does so many things right behind the dish, and he throws out another. Here's the 1-2. Foul back. So McCann's percentage now is at 50. 12 for 24.
The only one better in all of baseball is not Yadier Molina of the St. Louis Cardinals. It would be A.J. Ellis of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of a surprise. 2 balls, 2 strikes. More action in the Tigers pen. Tom Gorzolani warming up. And the 2-2. Popped him up. Shallow left field. Iglesias going back. Tough play. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Coming up, the McLaren Health Plan 7th inning stretch. raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. 4-0 is our scores. We go to the bottom of the 7th at Comerica.
And Jeff Samardzija still on the mound. He's pitched an outstanding game so far against the Detroit Tigers. And Menards brings you the big money encounter. Fastball's gotten all the way up to 97 miles an hour. He has a nice, really good split-fingered fastball. He's also been featured whenever the Tigers have had a runner in scoring position, and they haven't had very many. He's been able to slam the door. Really nice outing so far, turned in by Samardzija.
Well, Samardzija today, as he gets set to take the mound here in the bottom of the 7th, has gotten 9 via the air, 6 via the ground. And only 3 strikeouts in this game, but he has been in command. Tigers had a couple of runners on in the 6th inning with only 1 out, but Samardzija able to get through that inning. Well, it's time to slide into summer. You could get mezzanine tickets for just $17 or lower baseline box tickets for just $28. You'll see the Tigers play the Pirates June 30th through July the 2nd. Offer available exclusively at Tigers.com/tickets. Enter the coupon code FSDetroit. Got a new second baseman. That would be Carlos Sanchez taking over. The slick fielding Sanchez. Well, we'll see if the Tigers now can get the bats going. They will have Cespedes, Martinez, Castellanos facing Samardzija. David Price threw 99 pitches today before departing after 6. Samardzija still out there in the 7th. And his first one is low and away to Yoenis Cespedes.
Samardzija and his pitch count, both are in outstanding shape. He's only thrown 74 pitches so far this afternoon.
Here's the 1-0. Pop up and a fly out for Cespedes.
Twelve of 23 in the first pitch and strikes department so far for Samardzija this afternoon. It's not great, but even though he's been behind a lot of the hitters, he's been able to get himself a lot of outs.
Samardzija has gone 7 or more innings in 7 of his last 8 starts. He has the 2-1 to center field, straight at Adam Eaton, and 1 gone in the 7th. Yoenis is 0 for 3. That'll bring up J.D. Martinez. J.D. having a tough time, at least so far tonight, figuring out Samardzija struck out twice against him. Popped up. Foul ground, first base side. LaRoche has room, and there are 2 gone, just like that. Another 1 pitch out for Samardzija. He's had a lot of those in this game.
Tigers have not changed their game plan that they came into this contest with against Samardzija. Obviously, they were going to swing early and often, and they've continued to do so throughout the game, and they've had very little success with that approach.
6 1-pitch outs. That maybe more than anything has kept the pitch count in good shape for Samardzija. Castellanos taking his time settling into the box. He is ground out and a fly ball today. He's 0 for 2. Only 2 Tigers hits, a single for Iglesias and a single for Kinsler. That'll sail outside. 1-1. And Samardzija now has gone to a total of 80.
And nothing real stressful about any of the innings today for Jeff.
One ball, two strikes. McCann waiting on deck. Should get back out of play.
I don't know what it is about the White Sox. It really doesn't matter how they're playing, and they're not really having a good season. Whenever these two teams hook up, they seem to play their best baseball. And it's been that way for the last few years going up against the White Sox.
Well, to your point, if the White Sox win today, the season series stands at 6-6. And this is a team that has struggled for the most part. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They do seem to elevate their game, though, against the Tigers.
Always. Goes back to the days when Ozzie Guillen was their manager.
Here's the 2-2. Another one back out of play.
It's also kind of shocking. The Tigers' home record, they really just haven't taken advantage of in playing here at Comerica Park like they have in the past.
Here are those numbers for the season series between these two teams. Tigers 19-19 at home. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. So this at least is a semi-lengthy at bat here. The 8th pitch in this at bat coming up. Ground ball left side. Ramirez will throw out Castellanos. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Samardzija. Let's go to the 8th. Ballpark and round, really, it's pretty simple in this one today. Jeff Samardzija has controlled it from the get-go.
And that's not something that we usually say in a game where David Price is the opposing pitcher, because Price has been so good. But today, Samardzija, he's been a little bit better.
What about Price today? I mean, he really had just that one bad inning, and there were a couple of really bad at-bats when he hit Abreu, and then he got ahead of Garcia, who came up with a base hit.
Well, give the White Sox some credit. I mean, they were able to battle David through 99 pitches through just 6 innings, and David's one of those guys that uses 99 pitches to get through 8. So they really battled him today. They got themselves in some nice friendly counts, and they put some balls in play, and they've had success.
So it'll be Alex Wilson going back out to the mound as we head to the 8th inning, and his first pitch is a strike called on Jose Abreu. Abreu, Garcia, and then Cabrera Wilson missing inside. Alex came on in the 7th inning, gave up a single, but then caught Soto, or Bonifacio rather, trying to steal. Bonifacio tried to swipe second base, and McCann threw him out. Here's the 1-1. Low and outside. 2-1 on Abreu.
You've got to pitch Abreu inside. He's really dangerous on balls out over the plate. But if you can crowd him and not allow him to extend his arms, your chances increase greatly in getting him out.
Tigers have Gorsolani and Albuquerque now in the bullpen. Pulled toward left, but foul.
A cut fastball at 88 there, thrown by Wilson, had Abreu out in front of it.
4 runs on 7 hits for Chicago. No runs, 2 hits for the Tigers. And Abreu swings and misses. Down he goes. Wilson has his first strikeout.
It's a well-located slider at 84 miles an hour. You can see it coming off of Wilson's fingertips, located in an area where Abreu could not catch up to it. It's a beautiful location.
Here's Garcia. He's done damage today. He's got a couple of RBIs, a couple of hits, and a sacrifice fly. Ball 1. Garcia now with 12 RBIs this year in the season series between these two clubs. He's done it every which way. He has hit home runs against the Tigers. Sac fly today, RBI single, even had a walk-off hit by pitch in a recent series in Chicago. Thought about offering, but did not. 2-1. Melky Cabrera waiting on deck for the White Sox. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Garcia. They have Garcia in the 3 spot today as the White Sox jumbled up their lineup a bit, hitting Abreu second, Garcia third, Melky Cabrera fourth, and so far it's worked. Grounded foul. Top 4 hitters in their lineup today has done most of the damage. Now Wilson ready with the 2-2. Garcia had a really good at bat in that 6th inning in which the White Sox scored a couple of runs. He got down in the count to David Price 0-2, and then would end up, after getting even in the count, single to right field. That knocked in a run. High fly ball left field, hit pretty well. Cespedes has room. Edge of the warning track for the out. 2 gone. Hey, this July, baseball's best players gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage to the World Series on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 Major League Baseball All-Star Game begins July 14th at 7 Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So Wilson's going to be done. He has done his job and has done it very well here today. With Cabrera coming up, back to the bullpen go the Tigers, and a wall sign windows pitching change.
top half, excuse me, of the 8th inning overall this season for Gorzelani, pitching in his 28th game with an ERA approaching 7. He has not pitched nearly as well as he did last year. Therefore, a couple of days ago, he changed his arm slot. Most of the season, Gorzelani's been pitching from a high 3/4 arm slot, but he changed to more sidearm. Zach Duke of the Chicago White Sox, who pitches out of their bullpen, also throws from a sidearm angle, and hopefully that Gorzelani can start to have more success as he did last year by changing that arm slot, which should allow him to get left-handers out a little bit more frequently.
So Gorzelani now will face Melky Cabrera with the bases empty, 2 outs, 4-0. Sox have the lead here in the 8th, and a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. 2 out of 3 for Melky Cabrera. Long home run back in the 4th, singled in the 6th. Gorzelani just missing that time.
And hopefully this works against left-handers. It doesn't really bother the right-handed batters all that much, but to give the left-handers a different look might be exactly what Gorzelani needs.
2-out single. And for the White Sox, they have 8 hits on the board now. Well, we'll see how it works against the lefty now as LaRoche comes in. 0 for 2 with an RBI, sacrifice fly in this game. They employ the shift against LaRoche. He darts one in for a strike, 0-1. Wilson goes an inning and 2/3, giving way to Gorzelani here in the 8th. One ball, 1 strike on LaRoche. Way outside again as McCann goes down to get it. 2-1 on the left-handed batter.
Here's what LaRoche is looking at coming from Gorzelani. And breaking ball away, but he's able to lay off of it.
I would think when you're changing your arm angle that typically it's not as easy to do in the middle of a season. I mean, it's not something he worked on in the offseason or even in spring training. I mean, to do this in the middle of the year.
It's a great point. It's not easy to do, but when the ERA is approaching 7 and you're pitching for a team that has postseason aspirations, you got to try to figure something out.
Last year in Milwaukee, Gorzelani had an ERA of 0.86. 23 games with the Brewers. Here's the 2-2. 3-2 now on LaRoche. Have to get the runner at first base, Cabrera, started. Here's the 3-2 with the runner going. Fouled back out of play. David Price started this one, went 6 for the Tigers, allowed 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 6th inning. Wound up throwing 99 pitches in this game before departing. Tigers have not been able to back him up with any offense today, with Samardzija being as solid as he has. Samardzija allowing just 2 hits so far. He tried to hold up, went around, strike three. Corsolani strikes out LaRoche. No runs. They get a hit. One man left. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th at Comerica. Tigers Live with Justin White.
Hey, Mario, hopefully this is finally the inning the Tigers can solve Jeff Samardzija, huh? If they do, you'll certainly hear from the heroes after the game on Tigers Live. Trevor Thompson, along with Craig Monroe inside the Coliseum Studios. Plus, you'll hear from Brad Ausmus, as always. Tigers Live right after the game, guys. Back to you for now.
All right, Justin, thanks. As McCann leads it off against Samardzija. We're at the bottom of the 8th inning. Only 2 Tigers hits in this game against Samardzija. They would certainly love to get in the bullpen of the White Sox. The Sox bullpen has an ERA of 4, which is 13th in the American League. Bouncing ball foul. The count goes 0-2 on McCann. Samardzija came into this game with an ERA of over 5 on the road this year. Done much better than that, obviously, today. McCann waiting on an 0-2. Checked it. Did not go. Brian O'Nora said he held up. Here's the 1-2. There's a base hit to left field for McCann. Leadoff single in the 8th. Well, coming up on Tuesday after the off day tomorrow, the Tigers will take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet, and a good one.
Garrett Cole 11-3 with a fastball that gets up to 98 miles an hour. Justin Verlander will be making another start after missing his last start, being skipped with a sore back.
That is just the 3rd Tigers hit of the game, and here's Iglesias now. Bouncing ball to 3rd. It's a foul ball.
Sounded like he broke his back.
Sure did.
Tailing 93-mile-per-hour fastball in the hands of Iglesias. Get off me, ball.
Iglesias a single back in the 3rd. He's flying out as well. Oh, 0-2. Just 92 pitches for Samardzija as we play here in the 8th.
Great crowd here this afternoon. Unfortunately for them, boy, they've had nothing to cheer about on their side. They've been quiet.
39,355 today's attendance. Now Samardzija ready with the 1-2. He laid off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers have the top of the order coming up. Ghost waiting on deck. Grounded foul again. Chicago got 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 6th, and so far it is held up.
For the most part, hard stuff inside to Iglesias, then off the plate with one, bottom of the zone with another pitch.
They'll get back into the seats. Iglesias continues to battle. Jose now 5 hits in 10 at bats in the series, trying to get something going here. The Tigers have a leadoff single in the 8th. Low. 3-2 now on Iglesias. Really the only Tiger threat heading into this inning was the 6th. They had runners at first and third on a single and a walk, but Cabrera flied out and so did Martinez. Now Samardzija ready with the 3-2. Another foul back out of play. Number 9 about to come. It's been an 8-pitch at bat. Another foul back out of play. Samardzija has just allowed 3 singles in this game. That's it. And he walked in ball 4. That'll put 2 men on. A 10-pitch at bat for Iggy. 2 on, nobody out.
Samardzija threw Iglesias everything but the kitchen sink, finally missing on a 95-mile-per-hour fastball that was not that far off the outside corner. Iglesias is very difficult to strike out and able to coax a walk out of Samardzija.
Now 100 of the pitch count for Samardzija. Soto had to go out there because Samardzija thought he had strike 3. And to refocus him, now there is action in the bullpen. Petrishka warming up.
He's a ground ball artist.
Here is Ghost with 2 on, nobody out. Fouled away 0-1. Anthony's been on base once. He walked in the 6th inning. Otherwise, a line out and a ground out. Back up the middle of the center, base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third base, and they are loaded with Tigers and nobody out.
Nice approach here by Ghost. It's a breaking ball that stays right over the heart of the plate. He did not try to do too much with it, and simply hit it right back through the box. Eaton has a good arm from center field. Therefore, Dave Clark put up the stop sign for McCann. and you don't want to run into an out at home plate.
Now Don Cooper coming out, the White Sox pitching coach. Samardzija giving up a single, a walk, and another single.
If you're Robin Ventura, as well as Samardzija has pitched in this game, do you dare allow him to face the middle of the Tigers order again in the game? Or do you go to your bullpen to bring in a fresh arm?
It's a great question. I think well, now we've got a couple of guys warming up at the bullpen. Putnam has joined Petrishka.
One guy's a ground ball artist. The other guy gets lots of strikeouts.
So we'll see if Kinsler is indeed the last batter that Samardzija will face. And now Soto running out to the mound. They have another chat after the first one was broken up. They are loaded up. McCann, Iglesias, and Gose.
If you're Ian Kinsler, you know you're going to get a good pitch to hit here with the bases being loaded. If he gives you that first pitch fastball, you might as well take a good rip at it.
Kinsler, a single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Ball one.
And Samardzija still throwing very hard. Last fastball at 96, 103 pitches into this game.
One ball, one strike.
That's the swing that Ian does not want to take. We've been talking about Ian trying to keep the shoulders more parallel. Here he drops the back shoulder, and that's what causes you to pop up. You don't want to drop that back shoulder. Stay strong with that top hand, as he has been doing the last couple of days.
It hit him, and that's going to force in a run. Kinsler is hit by the pitch.
His arm's dead right now.
And it's a 4-1 ball game.
It's a hard way to get an RBI, but Ian will take it.
Now the bases are loaded for Cabrera. Right off the back elbow. The call being made to the bullpen to see if the two relievers would be ready. Here is Cabrera with the bases full. Still nobody out, a run in. And the Tigers suddenly have life. 0-1 on Miggy. Iglesias, Gose, and Kinsler. Ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Samardzija reaching back, trying to overpower Miguel Cabrera. First fastball at 95. That last one upstairs at 96.
You surprised Samardzija is facing Cabrera here?
Well, I wouldn't let him face the middle of the order again, but he does have good career numbers against Miguel, and I know that's what Ventura's looking at right now, the numbers.
Here's a 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Three fastballs, all three fastballs, 95 and above. That one right down the heart of the plate.
Samardzija has thrown as many as 120 in a ball game.
This might be his last pitch of the afternoon.
Swing and a miss to strike him out. Oh, what a huge out there for Samardzija. Miggy went fishing. One gone.
All hard stuff in this confrontation between Samardzija and Miguel Cabrera. First pitch 95. Reaches back to get 96, then 95, and follow that up with a 94-mile-per-hour heater to strike Miguel out.
So here is Victor.
Samardzija trying to navigate his way through the middle of the Tigers lineup here with a 3-run lead and the bases loaded. 349 for Victor with a bases loaded career. Driven to right center field and deep. And that ball is up against the wall. It's going to get 3 runs in. Victor has a double. And the Tigers have tied the game. One batter too many for Samardzija.
Victor Martinez watched Samardzija try to overpower Miguel Cabrera with mid-90s fastball, but Victor said, no, not to me. He jumps on the piece of cheese and finds a gap in right center field. And Ian Kinsler, I mean, he is right on the heels of Iglesias. Ghost, excuse me.
Up against the right center field wall. It's a 4-run inning, and the Tigers have tied this one up.
We touched on it momentarily. I was surprised that he allowed him to try to maneuver his way through the middle of the Tigers' lethal lineup 4 times today.
So they go to the bullpen. We will step aside. 4-4 game at Comerica.
Go back very far. Victor Martinez picking on the first, four-seam fastball right down the middle, thrown by Samardzija. It would be the final pitch thrown this afternoon by Samardzija, and Victor doubles in right center field and cleans up the bases.
And now the Tigers have a decent shot here to go ahead. They've got a runner at second, still only 1 out, and a couple of really good hitters coming up. Victor comes through in the clutch. Man, is it good to have him back in the lineup. And since returning from the DL, 10 RBIs.
It's all about being healthy. And Victor was not healthy when the season began. He is healthy now, and we're seeing the Victor Martinez swing the bat the way that he has all his whole career.
Zach Putnam has come on now for Chicago.
And Putnam has a fastball that gets up to about 91 miles an hour. He'll cut the fastball as well. He also has a signature pitch. That would be the split-fingered fastball. He gets lots of strikeouts on his splitter.
Cespedes looks at strike one. Victor Martinez had the big swing in this inning, but don't forget the 10-pitch at bat for Iglesias.
Putnam throws his split-fingered fastball about 60% of the time.
Here's the 0-1. There it is. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes.
Though Samardzija was cruising along, had a 1-2-3 seventh, having a little trouble, and he just imploded here in the 8th.
He pitched a really good game today, and the one mistake that he made there in the 8th inning for me is the fact that he just tried to overpower everybody. He stopped pitching. He just started throwing fastballs.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Cespedes is out.
And we've talked about the Tigers enough to know that they have a really good hitting fastball team.
Well, you made the comment early in the game when he was going so well that he had changed his approach today.
Fastballs, splitters, breaking balls kept the Tigers off balance all afternoon long until the 8th inning when he overpowered Miggy, and he tried to do the same thing to Victor.
All right, here is J.D. Martinez. He is 0 for 3. Go ahead run at second. J.D. takes ball 1.
And meanwhile, that splitter that Putnam is featuring, it's nasty. It's a really good pitch.
This one will be decided by the bullpens now. Now Soto goes out to the mound and has a chat with Putnam. Samardzija still stewing on the bench. This one slipped away from him quickly. Single, walk, single, hit by pitch, scored 1, and then a big strikeout of Miguel Cabrera. But Victor got him. The 1-0. Well, Martinez has that streak going of reaching base in 19 consecutive games on the line here. Thought about it. Didn't go. This is the 8th man to bat in the inning. Castellanos waiting on deck. Grounded foul back toward the bench. 2-2. Tigers trying to go ahead and bring in Joakim Soria to close it out. He's warming in the bullpen. Got to get this run in. Full count now, 3-2. Tigers today are looking for their first win when trailing after 7. They are 0-30 when trailing after 7.
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe we'll change that today. Now Soto again. Saunters out to the mound. White Sox will have Ramirez, Beckham, and Soto in the top of the 9th inning. The 6, 7, 8 hitters due up. Popped him up. Foul ground, first base side for LaRoche, and that will end it. However, the Tigers able to tie it up. They show some life in the 8th inning. Victor Martinez goes to the gap in right field. It's a 4-4 game. The top of the ninth inning. New life for the Tigers, and now Joakim Soria comes out of the bullpen.
And Joakim having a good year. A 2.73 ERA, 22 strikeouts, only 4 base on balls. He's always around the plate. Fastball anywhere from 89 to 93 with a good curve, good slider, good cutter, and a changeup.
Alexei Ramirez leads it off here in the ninth. And he looks at a pitch inside. 2 balls, no strikes on Ramirez. Beckham and then Soto to follow here in the ninth inning. All tied at 4. Tigers did not have anything going until the 4-run 8th. Here's the 2-0. That's in there. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ramirez. Oh for 3 in this game for the White Sox shortstop. Bouncer right back to the mound. Soria handles it for the out. 1 gone. Hey, follow the Tigers all season long with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, and a whole lot more. Get MLB.com at Bat on your smartphone or your tablet. Here's Beckham now with 1 out. Nothing doing for Beckham. 0 for 3. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Soria trying to get this thing to the bottom of the ninth when the Tigers will have Castellanos, Pecan, Iglesias. Strike called on Beckham. Now it's 0-2.
Soria does not throw as hard as he used to throw when he was closing games for the Kansas City Royals, but he still has that really good control with that fastball in the low 90s.
1-2.
That's a good pitch. And Jeff Kellogg gave him the previous pitch. He said, well, let me go right back there again, maybe an inch further outside to see if I can get another strike called.
Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Usually closers don't have 4 pitches, but Soria does, and not afraid to use any of the 4 in a closing situation. Here's a split slash changeup thrown by Soria. Most closers usually have 1 real good pitch, whether it be the fastball or the slider.
1-2. Soria takes over for Gorzolani, who pitched in the 8th. So did Wilson. David Price out after 6. We'll get a no decision now in this game. Just got a piece of it again. Swing and a miss. Beckham down on strikes. 2 gone.
Change up at 85. Breaking ball at 80 miles an hour. Buried at the bottom of the strike zone. Nice job by McCann at getting the glove underneath it and to catch it.
Here's Giovanni Soto. Strike 1. One ball, 1 strike on Soto. Today 1 for 3. Single, ground out, strikeout. 2-1 on Soto. Should he reach Sanchez, the number 9 hitter, waiting on deck. And the 2-1. Now 3-1. Popped up. Shallow right field. Kinsler back calling. He's now called off. Ghost makes the play. 1-2-3 for Soria. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th. See if the Tigers can win it. Here's our game summary. Victor Martinez had the big blow, the game-tying 3-run double in the bottom of the 8th inning to make the game 4-4. Jeff Samardzija 7 1/3 in this game. 5 hits, 4 runs, all in the 8th inning. He struck out 4 and seemingly was in control and was going to cruise to a win, but things got a little bit different in the bottom of the 8th. And now we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Nick Castellanos to lead it off.
Yeah, the one thing that Castellanos should try to accomplish here is force Putnam into getting the ball up in the strike zone, which is not the easiest thing to do. And he throws a lot of tumbling, split-fingered fastballs that usually bounce.
But keep in mind, Putnam came on in the 8th inning after the double by Martinez. It was still only 1 out, so they needed to get 2 big outs, and Putnam got him. A strikeout of Cespedes and a pop-up from Martinez. Nick fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes. Four runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. The White Sox 4 runs, 8 hits. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers have an off day tomorrow, then the Pirates come in. Trying to win 2 out of 3 here against the White Sox. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now on Castellanos.
Looks like Romine getting ready to run for Castellanos if he reaches. Could also use Rajai Davis.
Swing and a miss. He will not reach. Down he goes via the strikeout.
Here's our call, Sam. Call of the game. Earlier in the game, Bonifacio was on first base. It was the 7th inning. He attempted to steal second base, and James McCann came up firing towards second base. Needed some help from the slick fielding shortstop Iglesias to pick that ball out of the dirt to apply the tag.
And McCann with the bat today got it all rolling in the 8th inning with a leadoff single off Samardzija. 1 for 3, runs scored. Strike 1 on McCann. Rondon warming up in the Detroit bullpen. McCann has had a walk-off home run this year. The solo shot against Houston in the 11th inning. The game earlier this year. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Driven left field and deep. Way back. This one is gone. It's another walk-off for James McCann. His 2nd of the year.
Great comeback win for the boys today.
And the Tigers will mob him at home plate.